What is up, gamers? It is Will777JP, and we are back with another My Collection video. This time we're going to be doing my top three of My Collection Section 10 or Part 10. It's not one of my favorite rows, but it does have some bangers in there. And this one's going to be very interesting at what you guys say, because there's some bangers in there that I haven't played that you're gonna be like, can't believe you haven't beat this. And we'll go over all that today. But before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for all your support. You guys have been phenomenal with it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and help me out. Help the channel reach 1,000 subscribers before the month of June is over. And everybody else who watches the videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit that like, hit that notification bell, and that way you stay up to date whenever I drop videos. But we went over section 9 last week, which is where all the Call of Duty games were for the PS5. We had Coffee Talk, Cat Quest, so we talked about those games. But today, row 10, right underneath that. Let me just adjust the camera so we get all those games in there. And let's go over real quickly what games we have on row 10. Alright, so over here we start with Dredge. I'm sorry, wrong row. Wrong row. That's row 11. That's next week. That was a much more exciting row. Sorry, Cloudpunk. Then we have Cocoon. Then we have Contra Operation Galuga. Then we have Crime Boss. Then we have Final Fantasy VII Reunion Crisis Core. Then we have, is this right? Yeah, Crisis Core. Crusader Kings 3. Then we have Curse of the Sea Rats. Then we have Signy All Guns Blazing. Then we have Days of Doom. Then we have Dead Island 3. Then we have Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. Then we have Dead Space Remake. Then we have Deathloop. We have Dungeons Munchies. We have Death Stranding Director's Cut. We have Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobe. We have Deep Rock Galactic Danger Darkness, or Deep Rock Galactic Special Edition. We have 8 Doors, a Rum's Afterlife Adventure. We have Dragon's Dogma. And then last but not least is Dragon Age the Veilguard. So those are the games in row 10, part 10 of this video. Picking a top 3 was a little difficult, but kind of easy at the same time. This row is a row where I haven't beaten a lot of games in this row. I really haven't. For one reason or the other, I didn't really like it as much, or I figured, hey, I'll get back to it later. And some I just never even played. You know, there's a whole bunch in this one that are unopened. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Remember, there's 20 games in here that are unopened, right? So 8, so almost half. A couple of them, like Cocoon, I played and beat, or I didn't beat it, but I played it on an Xbox. When I was down in Florida on vacation, the Airbnb had this game there. So I played it while I was on vacation. Another one that, actually, let me go into my top 3. Let me go into my top 3 real quick. All right, starting with the third one in this row. And once I'm done with my third one, I'll give you guys some honorable mentions. And once again, the 3 in the row that I'm going to pick, I'm going to do it in order from 3 to 1. I picked games that to me were good, whether it was the music, the design, gameplay, whatever it was, is usually a combination of all those things, and the reason why I picked it. And also it's something that I beat in this row, not just something that I played and I thought was cool but didn't finish. Nope, this is a game that I played from start to finish and I finished it. All right, so number 3 is Signe All Guns Blazing. Now, the reason I'm picking Signe All Guns Blazing is, number 1, it's been a while since I played a game like this with modern controls, with modern graphics, modern music, that played really good. It played really good, man. I bought this game digitally, I beat it digitally, and then when it was on sale physically, I went ahead and bought it. But all the particle effects in this game was phenomenal. The story, I don't want to say the story was like good, right? Because the story is very minuscule in this game. It's just some set pieces to kind of get you from level 1 to level 2. This plays very much like an arcade game, where there's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, etc. But the story was a little bit more than that. There was some, I don't want to say voice acting, but there was some kind of cutscenes in the middle of the levels or in between the levels that really gave it some texture to the game. But the biggest thing that I loved about this game, obviously, was the combat. It was the gameplay. And all the particle effects in this game just gave it that much more flair, right? But at first, I was a little confused on how the controls work. After a couple minutes, I figured it out, and man, it was an awesome game. It is kind of a challenging game. I mean, I beat it in normal mode, but man, a couple boss fights, I thought about switching it over to easy mode because, man, it was kicking my butt, bro. It really was kicking my butt. But yeah, out of all the games here, Signe, I appreciate it mainly because of the type of game it is. It's like a bullet hell, freaking arcade type of shooter that I just missed. These are the type of games that I really, really enjoyed during my childhood, and being able to play it. And I know there's other games like this, right? But I don't really own many of them physical. I own a couple of them digital, and because of from 2010 to 2017, 18, I didn't do much gaming. I missed out on a lot of those, and instead of going back to them, I kind of went back to the big AAA games that I missed during that era. So I don't want to say that this is the first game to kind of do this, right, in the current gen, but it is for me one of the first games that I played of this style that I really, really like. So that's Signe. My number 2 in this row. Now this was a tough one, but it's Dead Space. It is that Dead Space remaster. I've never played Dead Space ever in my life. So when I put this on for the first time, I remember it was like January of 2023 maybe, or 20, let's see, yeah, it had to be 2023, right when it came out. I believe it was 2020, yeah, January, it was like January, February 2023. And I remember it being very snowy season, and I remember just being home for like 3 or 4 days. Like, it was so bad with snow, and I was like, you know what, let's do Dead Space. And man, when I played this game, I don't want to say blew my mind, but man, it was pretty damn close to it. Everything just felt so good. It's just one of these games that has a great story, has great gameplay mechanics, has great character designs, has great combat design. That's something I don't think a lot of people talk about. The combat design in this game is phenomenal. What's the dude's name? Clark? I think his name is Clark, the main character. He's a badass dude, right? So you felt really good about this. You're fighting for somebody you love. To me, this game is a complete package. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of horror. I do like horror games, mainly because horror games tend to have a good story or an interesting story, and this hit all those buttons for me. It had more combat than a regular typical horror game, in my opinion. But the artistic choices, the sound. We're not even talking about the music. We're talking about the level designs, the sound design in this game is out of this world. Very creepy vibe. Yeah, I had a great time with this game. I've been itching to play it again, but man, it's just hard with so many games out here. But yeah, Dead Space, definitely my number 2. And my number three game in this collection, or my number 1, I should say, is Dying Light. Dying Light. I know you're probably thinking, man, you're crazy. The game was good, but it wasn't that good. I'm gonna tell you why it's my number 1 in this row. It's number 1 because, one, I got the freaking, I'm not saying there's a reason it's number 1, but I got like the $100 edition, the freaking hold on, let me go grab it. The Hell A edition, right? I got the Hell A edition for Dead Island. I'm sorry, yeah, Dead Island. What was I calling it? Whatever, Dead Island 2. Wait, damn, I think I said Dead Island 3. But Dead Island 2. So, I love zombie games to begin with. I just love zombie games. I never get tired of them. But I found it to be, when this game came out, I found it to be a little kind of breath of fresh air in a way, because it's a simple type of game, right? Simple combat, but there's variety in there. You can pick different characters. Each character has their own strengths and weaknesses. It's very gory, which I really, really like. I love goriness in games, right? The combat is a lot of fun. It's very, very fun. But the story was actually pretty good too. The story's pretty good. The writing in the game was decent. Had me laugh a few times. But why did I make this game number 1? Oh, the music is also banging in this game. That's something that's very underrated in Dead Island 2. The music is banging. But the main reason of why I picked this at number 1 is because I beat this game by myself. And then I beat it with a friend of mine called Nelson Gaming Culture, who is my co-host of the State of Gaming podcast that I do every Sunday night. And that's what I loved about this game as well, and what made it go from 2 to 1. Because I originally was going to do Dead Space number 1, but then after thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Dead Island 2 has to go number 1 because of the co-op option. And it just made, I played it for the second time with Nelson. We beat all the DLCs together, and it was a good time. And this game is a game that we can only play on Sunday nights, meaning Nelson at the time was working a lot. He works like second or third shift, so he gets off really late. So we can only do it on the weekends when he's off, and even then he was working overtime. So Sunday nights is the only time we can get together and play. And every once in a while there'll be like a Saturday where he didn't work, where we can play for a couple hours. But man, we had an awesome time with this game, and it was a lot of fun, bro. A lot of fun. I highly recommend this game to you guys if you have not played this. I highly recommend Dead Space if you have not played it. I highly recommend Signy if you have not played it. But Dead Island 2 to me is the best game in this row that I've beaten because of my experience with it. Now, let's talk some honorable mentions, and let's talk some games that you're probably wondering, Will, why the hell didn't you pick that, right? We have Death Stranding here. We have freaking Dragon's Dogma. We even got Dragon's Age in this row, right? The reason I didn't pick Death Stranding is because I haven't beat Death Stranding. Like, I just started playing again this week, and I had a shout out to Ball Dante and RPG88, who did screen share with me, kind of explained some things to me and helped me understand the game better, which now I kind of know what I'm doing, right? Because to me, the menu system is completely jacked up. It's hard to follow along. I don't want to sit there and learn it, but they did a good job explaining it to me, so I got back into it. And you know what? I have a feeling that if I do another one of these videos, Death Stranding will probably be in the top 3 somewhere. I can already see it, right? But I'm not there yet. I'm like 10 hours into the game. Dragon's Dogma, I have not beat either. Why? Well, because like my buddy RPG, I was having kind of a hard time with the performance of the game. The dips were a little too much. I just didn't want to deal with it. But I absolutely loved what I was playing. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that I have the PS5 Pro, I'm going to go ahead and restart playing this game eventually. And maybe that game will make my top 3 in the near future. Dragon Age, well, Dragon Age, I do have about 10 hours into that, but I just have no motivation in going back. The combat is okay, but it's not. That's not what I bought Dragon Age for. I bought it to play Dragon Age, not whatever that was. But honorable mentions in here, right? Of stuff that I played. Obviously, Cocoon is an honorable mention. It's a very beautiful game. So beautiful, in fact, that I decided to buy a physical copy after I played, I say like 80% of it on Xbox on vacation last year. But beautiful game. Another honorable mention is Contra, Operation Galuga. This game, I mean, what can I say? It's a classic. So much fun. Couch co-op. You know what I mean? It's just fun. It's just straight up fun. So go check out Contra Operation Galuga. Let me see if there's anything else I would do honorable mention here for. I mean, Deep Rock Galactic. That's a very good one for you multiplayer guys. Very unique multiplayer. So yeah, I guess I will put that in there as well. But there y'all have it, man. That is my top 3 of row 10 of my collection. Next week we will do row 11, which is right here. Now this row has some D's, F's in there. So that one, I think it's a much better selection of games. But also I've beaten more games in that row than I did in this one. But even if I beat, well, I can't say for Death Stranding or Dragon's Age or Dragon's Dogma, but I think the top 3 that I picked this one are good. To you guys, Signy might be the most questionable one, but that's okay. These are my top 3, not your top 3, right? But let me know in the comment section which ones you would have picked in this row. Which top 3 would have been your top 3 in this row. But thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you next week with my top 3 in my collection, row 11. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you stay up to date whenever I drop videos. Keep it gaming.